Hello there and welcome. Today we're taking a full look at the Nerf Elite 2.0 Wild Edition Stormcharge. Now this one is really exciting. Let's jump right in. Included in the box is of course the Stormcharge itself, a stock, a barrel, a 10-round N-Strike magazine, 20 Nerf Elite darts, and the instructions. Just like a Strife, the blaster requires 4 AA batteries. They can be installed right there. And now it should rev up. Very quiet. Now that we have the Stormcharge out of the box, let's go over the blaster. It features 2 tactical rails, one on the right and one on the top. I originally thought there was going to be one on the left, but there is not. We also have 2 sling mounts. One is located here and the other right below the grip. On the left side only, we have our jam door. You can open it by pulling it down. You can rev the blaster while the jam door is open. Then right up on top, we have a carry handle, and it also doubles as a scope. And then right down here, we have our magazine release. This magazine release is phenomenal. It's a paddle style release, so it is super comfortable. So you can very easily take out your magazine either like this, or simply like this. Then of course we have the grip. I think this grip is slightly thinner than the Strife's grip, but still very, very comfortable. Then right up front we have this barrel. Now this was originally a barrel sold in the 2015 Stealth Ops kit, but it has been altered slightly. They gave it these Wild Edition stripes, and the original Modulus one did not have those. And then the stock is a Recon Mark II stock, which is a 2016 blaster that has also been altered slightly. They have removed the N-Strike Elite logo that used to be present right there, and it also features some Wild Edition stripes. Now with all the attachments off, it is actually a very well balanced blaster. Unlike the Phoenix, which had the batteries up front, so it was very front heavy, this blaster has the batteries in the back, similar to a Strife, so it feels very comfortable to hold. Speaking of the Strife, this blaster is about as thick as the Strife, maybe a tiny bit thicker, and then it is actually shorter than the Strife by, I want to say, about an inch. So yeah, this thing is actually super compact. And then here it is next to the 2020 Phoenix, which is obviously bigger. The Phoenix is not only thicker, but longer, and it's also front heavy and solvent welded. So this is definitely way nicer than the Phoenix in my opinion. Now just like the Strife and Phoenix, this is a semi-automatic flywheeler, so we're going to rev the motors and pull the trigger, and every trigger pull is going to equal 1 dart. Overall, that felt pretty good to fire. Now let's take this thing outside and see if it hits that 70 FPS Nerf Elite par. Chronograph is firing up. 64. Duplicate 64. 63. Error. Error. 66. 64. 66. 66. 67. And we're out. So this is hitting almost at the Elite par, around 65 feet per second, which is very close to what the Strife and the Phoenix both hit. So let's go back inside and I'm gonna share my final thoughts. So what are my final thoughts on the Nerf Elite 2.0 Wild Edition Stormcharge? Overall, even with my extremely high expectations, I think this thing is really cool. It is definitely way more ergonomically sound than the Phoenix. Not only is it really well balanced, but we also get an amazing magazine release. And it's crazy that this blaster is actually shorter than the Strife, because ever since 2013, the Strife has been the most compact magazine-fed semi-automatic blaster. Now the trigger isn't the smoothest I've felt. It's not as smooth as something like the Evader. It definitely feels heavier, but it doesn't really hinder your ability to fire this thing. So is the Stormcharge better than the Strife? I think for modification, the answer is a clear no. The Strife has been around for so many years and has so many mod kits around it, I don't think this is going to come close, at least not in the near future. However, in stock form, I think that's a more interesting argument. Because these both perform about the same stock, they're both very ergonomically sound, and they're both priced very well. But I personally prefer the Stormcharge. Now I really like the Strife, but I think the Stormcharge improves on a few things. First off, the magazine release. The magazine release on the Strife is not bad, but this paddle release is phenomenal. It is so crisp and so smooth. I really, really like it. I also really like that this blaster is a little bit shorter than the Strife, because it seems like every other Strife reskin has some other kind of gimmick, whether it be a camera, whether it be glow-in-the-dark features. This one is just trying to be practical. And I also really like the Wild Edition accents. I think the striping looks really great. So I don't think the Stormcharge is going to fully replace the Strife. However, I think it improves upon some things and it's a really great blaster. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you've enjoyed this review, and I would love to know what aspects you think the Stormcharge does better than the Strife. Have a good one and happy nerfing.